in some of those cases, we actually send our instructors into West Rock.
Okay.
An example is a summer welding program, which has been going on for 15 years. We will send our instructors into West Rock and do a summer welding program.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're here with Dr. John Rainone, the president of Mountain Gateway Community College, and we want to talk about workforce development and how Mountain Gateway is leading the effort in our community. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to having you on, and very timely conversation. We just, we chatted with Ken McFadden a couple days ago. Right. One of the big topics was workforce development, getting people in the workforce, and so kind of following in that conversation, I'd like to just maybe start off with getting an overview for maybe people that don't know, which would be strange, but a little bit about Mountain Gateway Community College.
Sure. Again, thank you for having me. Mountain Gateway Community College has been in this community for 63 years. And next month is our 63rd birthday. So our focus, we are a comprehensive community college. Mm-hmm. We serve roughly 1,900 students, both in a degree or certificate plus workforce credentials, which I'll talk about in a second. And we have our program offerings try to reflect the needs of our service region. Our service region represents 1,800 square miles, and those 1,800 square miles is roughly 70,000 individuals. So we're always looking and trying to change programs and update programs, and so our college, even though we are comprehensive, which means both transfer and workforce, only about 20% of our students actually transfer. Mm-hmm. Okay, so 80% of our students who complete a short-term certificate, an industry credential like a commercial driving license, or a full associate degree in nursing or whatever, those are really workforce-related topics, and they're going to go directly to work after the college. The great thing about community colleges statewide, over 80% of community college graduates stay in Virginia. I would say that roughly 85 to 90% of our students stay in this community, and we're probably 95% of our students stay in the state.
Okay.
And if we lose anybody, we may just lose them to the border of West Virginia. Because there's not many who, I remember last year specifically 2 high school students who they were seniors in high school. They earned 3 industry credentials while they were seniors, all in the healthcare area, CNA, which is certified nursing assistant, certified medical assistant, and phlebotomy. And one of them was moving to the Whiteville area. Right. And the other one was moving to Tennessee, and that's where her family was. Yeah. So, so even in that case, the students completed that. They were high school seniors at Allegheny, and we were able to meet their needs. So we've really tried. I've always described us as a workforce college, right? Because of where our students, we graduate roughly 350 a year who earn a certificate or credential. And again, the bulk of those students are staying either in this community or definitely in the Commonwealth.
Yeah. What do you see as in the last, say, 3 to 5 years, the biggest demand for workforce training or education? And then the follow-on question I'll ask you next is, where do you see going in the next 5 years?
So our largest program right now, which has grown in that 3 to 5 years by enrollment, is commercial driving license, is CDL.
Right.
We have and I'll just use one example. We have a great partnership with Garton Trucking, and they hire most of their drivers from our program. They are communicating all the time with our full-time faculty members in CDL and our adjuncts, and we so that is one of our largest programs.
Sure.
When the college started, we were known. When I got here roughly 13 years ago, we were known for nursing and forestry.
Right.
We have the only forestry 2-year associate degree in the Commonwealth, and our nursing program was top notch. Okay. I think over the years, because of the change, these short-term programs such as CDL, another program, obviously nursing.
Right.
You know, so nursing. I believe it was 2 years ago, Lewis Gale Allegheny hired 9 of our graduates, which was, I believe, the largest number in 1 year that they hired from our nursing pool. Those are some of the students who might go out of the area because there might be limited amount. So we do have a lot who go to Roanoke,
Right.
and we've had a couple go to Charlottesville. But the bulk of those, once again, the bulk of those students actually stay in this particular area. Where we go from here, or again, I guess if I had a crystal ball, I could get the lottery numbers or something. But
We wouldn't be doing this
think,
podcast.
I think from at least indications, CDL is still going to be a priority for people because there is a large turnover every year, at least nationally. I don't think it's as large as it is here. We are doing a lot more with IT and specifically AI.
Yeah.
So we were fortunate a year ago to get a statewide one of 15 projects called the Laboratory School. It was an initiative of Governor Youngkin's administration, and the focus of that was for our 5 high school students, and they would start as sophomores, and their sophomore, junior, and senior year, they could earn up to 7 industry credentials in IT, help desk, information technology, and cloud computing, and AI. Okay, AI.
That's fascinating.
So these are, this first year, the max was 24. I believe we had 19 students from our schools. And they come to both our campuses, or they can do it from their own home school. And they are learning classes in Python, programming, and other types of things that are well beyond my range.
So, Dr. Rainone, you mentioned artificial intelligence. I think that's a fascinating topic. It's something that's permeating across the business industry, how we use it. Can you tell us a little bit more about that specific course of study?
Sure. So right now we don't have an AI certificate. However, our faculty have really jumped on this. So in the past, this past August, we created an AI committee on campus because some of the faculty, just like me, I mean, I use ChatGPT practically every day, but do I really understand sort of the impact of that? Faculty wanted to really understand how they can use it as a tool
Right.
for students. Because when students, if our job is to try to teach students essential skills,
Yeah.
AI skills are one of those essential skills.
Agreed.
That when they leave us, so how to use it. So one example, and the chair of our AI committee is actually the head of our English department. So we've had conversations about how can it be used in English. One example could be the first day of class. You're in an English composition class. You write a paragraph or 2 from a prompt.
Yeah.
ChatGPT actually will evaluate that for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And it will give you potentially grade level. It will give you some recommendations. Then 2 weeks later, you do it again. And then 2 weeks after that, you do it again. Okay. It's not cheating. It is using the tools that we already have.
Yeah.
And the faculty have embraced that. we are teaching it specifically in obviously our IT courses, but I believe what we're going to see, and again, we're kind of new as an institutional vision, and the committee actually asked me to create an institutional vision for how I see AI.
Yeah.
So that's the teaching side. But I also know that AI can help on the student services side, on the administrative side.
Yeah.
We are, we are one of the smallest colleges in the state. Our funding has been limited, okay, from the state. We have every employee at the college does probably at least 3 jobs, okay? Yeah. So can I find ways to help become people much more efficient and effective?
Yeah.
Okay, which would allow them to ultimately serve our students better, okay? Yeah. I think we do a great job with customer service and everything, but but if we have this tool, how can we use the tool to become much more efficient for our community and our students?
Yeah, this is really fascinating. I didn't anticipate, kind of going,
sure,
getting to this topic, but as someone who, you use it, there's multiple platforms. There's Claude, there's Gemini, there's ChatGPT. Right. There's a couple other that are out there. And what I have found, and I use 3 of the 4 or 5, I think, in allowing, it's a learning mechanism.
Correct.
Right? It learns based on how you feed it, what data you give it, and what parameters you're establishing, and then washing them, your outputs across different platforms gives you different perspectives.
Right.
And to your point, it is a tool and it is the future. And it's just like picking up a toolbox. You don't drive a nail with a screwdriver.
Correct. Correct.
Learn to use it as, to develop the outputs that you're looking for.
Yeah, and really being able to make it understand. And for me, it was around 6-7 months ago, I was at a conference, and this keynote speaker, who was kind of at the end of his career, he started talking about AI. And he talked about the importance of prompting and the importance, and it was just so fascinating because he said, yes, I knew how to spell AI, but that was about it. And
most people our age
and he said, right. And he said that it really was this ability for me to use things. And he used one example. He said that he has a 32-year-old son with learning disabilities, and he and his wife for 20 years, okay, paid for specialists and everything else. So he became a little fascinated. So he started a prompt for a learning assistance plan for his son when his son was 12 years old. And he worked at it, and he said about 2 months later, I created in seconds the same plan that specialists created 20 years ago, okay, from that. And he's saying, I'm not saying AI should diagnose medical or anything else, but he said that that's the power to be able to do that as a learning, really as a learning thing. And he said, and they even included certain recommendations. Now, 20 years later, things are better and evolved, but how AI has just really been able to evolve and really help individuals who could not pay for specialists or could not, so.
And it's available at your fingertips.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's, how that connects to your other curriculum activities and the university operating processes. I could think, robotics, unmanned systems. We've had some conversations about that previously.
The thing I love is even data analysis, being able to do, large pieces of data and giving us some top level analysis for that. And then we can dive into some of that information. I think is wonderful. I just think it's wonderful.
You mentioned the CDL and how that feeds into garden trucking, and how about some of our bigger industries, Smurfit West Rock, Ingevity. How does your the workforce development courses or
Yeah.
programs support those big?
Yeah, so Smurfit is probably our longest partner. I would say at least 50 years.
Yeah.
I think we were 2 names ago and they were 4 names ago or something.
Yeah.
But for years we have, first of all, at the lower level, we have multiple employees of Smurfit West Rock on our program advisory committees. Every program area, like forestry and IT and electrical and instrumentation, they have industry experts who provide input into curriculum and make recommendations for changing. They meet once a year in person, and then they meet a second time, usually by Zoom or so. So their involvement is obviously critical as the largest employer in this area. We've also done for a number of years apprenticeship with them. So they have skill craft areas. So if you're a welder or a machinist, you get retrained into one area or another. We can provide apprenticeships for them. It does even allow at times some state funding through that to help the employer. But the individual, so in some of those cases, we actually send our instructors into West Rock.
Okay.
An example is a summer welding program, which has been going on for 15 years. We will send our instructors into West Rock and do a summer welding program specifically for their employees. We also have obviously a number of employees who will come to the college and enroll in our general courses as well. Our general courses. The thing we're finding as the number one, I think, need in this area, and it kind of is the need in a lot of areas, is skilled trades.
Right.
Okay. So we offer building trades and electrical and plumbing and maintenance mechanic. The interesting thing, we've had conversations, we've done some training with the homestead, and I'll give you an example of the homestead. Homestead's 24/7 business. You only think about the front of the house and everything. We've had conversations and done some training for their maintenance staff because they needed to be cross-trained in electrical and plumbing, in HVAC, the whole maintenance mechanic component. And what we do is we use some industry-recognized curriculum that's already been tested, and we bring those modules taught by our local faculty members to either the classroom, the employer, and the lab.
Yeah. It's the kind of focus on that for a second. If you think about that, we also have JRTC, kids in high school that are not kids, they're young people, but they're learning trades.
Right.
We had Boys Home came in and talked to us a couple weeks ago, and they've got a fantastic facility up there that's pretty much brand new, pretty active. And how is there a synchronicity between those organizations? Yeah.
So we'll use JRTC first. So JRTC, one of our largest programs from our 5 schools is dual enrollment. Okay. Roughly 50% of our total credit enrollment is dual enrollment. Yeah. And these are students who are still in high school, and in most cases taught by qualified high school teachers, qualified at the college level, not at the high school level. And those students in that class, both in an English class, but also in a welding class, for example, with JRTC, they will earn college credit and potentially earn a certificate or degree before they even leave the college, before they leave the high school. An example of welding, and I'll use Jamie Huffman, who runs a wonderful program at JRTC. Jamie and our program heads have always been in concert with each other. Okay, so those students, in some cases, even come to us, and we are offering a lot of pipe welding now and so forth, which the high school is not offering. So the students might actually come get their construction welding at the high school, come to us, But even if they don't come to us, they're earning something while they're at the high school because of our partnership.
Okay.
Boys Home, on the other side, have also participated in courses. Boys Home participates in what we called our Roadrunner Day. We're our nickname of the Roadrunners.
Right.
So they come and participate in Roadrunner to learn about programs even beyond Boys Home, or through an articulation agreement that we have with Boys Home.
Right.
We want to be at the table. We don't have to be the lead for everything. We want to be at the table.
Sure.
Because we want to be able to be a true partner.
Right.
And you can call yourself a partner but do nothing. But honestly, we want to be a true partner where it benefits the student.
Sure.
That's ultimately if it benefits the student.
Everybody has a role to play. Let's figure out
Exactly.
what
Yes,
role
exactly.
is.
And there's enough work for everybody to go around. And I'm a believer of lifelong learning. So if a student earns something at the high school level, a skill, it should not be wasted if they come to college.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, if a student completes 2 years with us, a family will basically save, and this is only for public Virginia schools, roughly between $26,000 and $32,000 in tuition if they complete with us and then transfer.
That's significant.
So that becomes very significant.
That's a year's worth of cost at a 4-year university.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fantastic. When kind of go back to our conversation with Ken, and one of the things he brought up that really shocked me was in our community estimation, there's probably around 3,500 people that can work that are unemployed, and for various reasons. And I don't know what they are, and I don't,
Right.
I'm not going to speculate. But for those people, what does Mountain Gateway have to offer them? Like, how do we leverage the
Right.
resources we have to get more earners into the workforce?
Right. So I've been in community colleges. I guess I will tell you it's 35 years now. Three colleges. This will be my last college. So and I have never. So one possible misnomer is community college education is expensive.
Right.
And it's not. I gave you that example of how much the savings. The Commonwealth of Virginia has put a lot of money into things such as our Fast Forward, which is our short-term credentials. If you want to earn CDL credential or something short-term. So if any of the listeners are concerned about cost, trying to get that, cost is not an option. There are options, both state grants, and these are grants, not loans, as well as federal grants through our financial aid process. Number two, I think that there may be a lack of understanding of maybe what we offer.
Right.
Okay. We have recently, and this is a project, we were honored to be one of 15 colleges in the country selected by the National Council for Inquiry and Improvement through for a 3-year Rural Pathways grant. And one of our goals was to switch all our credit programs to 8 weeks, 8-week terms. Because community college students are first generation, typically. They are single parents. They're working 2 jobs, if it maybe even 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to be able to offer courses, same course, and we're not going to have you take 4 courses a semester. You're going to take 2 for 8 weeks, complete that, and then take 2 more. Because what happens is life happens.
Sure.
Okay. There's a line that community college students are roughly $400 from an emergency from dropping out of college. Okay. They get a flat tire.
Yeah.
All right. They can't pay the water bill. They can't pay their heating bill. We have actually, through our educational foundation, have emergency funding, which we have given. It's probably now $100,000 or so of emergency funding to students who demonstrate that they have a need. because we want to get people to the finish line. It's easy getting students in.
Yeah.
Getting them to the finish line is not. So, and one of our focus, and I think this goes directly to your question, as part of this grant is to really focus more on the adults. Mm-hmm. The adults who have maybe been out of high school 3 years, 5 years, who want something different. You know, they want to become an electrician. They just don't know, you know, the steps.
How do I get there?
Right. How do I get there? Exactly. And I do think that this is where that connection, and I mean, we know where all the high school students are.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And we even have full-time staff in the high school. They call career coaches. There are employees who help those students navigate the education system, because our guidance counselors are dealing with so many other things.
Yes.
Okay. And they're not always recruiting the students to Mountain Gateway. We can't run every single program.
Yeah.
But if somebody wanted become a physical therapist, they might refer them to one of our 2 other colleges for a program. Okay. Maybe they wouldn't have taken the time to look at that and everything. For, I think, anybody who is able to work, wants to work, there are jobs out there. Okay, there are certainly jobs. So how can we even help? We also have 2 years ago we implemented a full-fledged career center. Okay, so we have a full-time person who's our director, and it is not only, it's especially for our students to help them find jobs, but it's for alumni. Okay. No one is going to kick you out if you're from the community as well. Okay. So there could be some of that connection. So if you want an electrician and say you finish these certifications and you want to help with the job search, this office will certainly help you with that. A lot of times that also is from the instructors, because the evening instructors are still in the workplace. Yeah. So they're, they may be recruiting their own students to come and work for them.
Yeah. Ken mentioned a few, what are the barriers or gates to get through to, if someone's not in the workforce and they're trying to get there, and whether that's financial, whether that's transportation, whether that's childcare. It sounds like a lot of those barriers are addressed already. They just need to go find the answer.
Yeah, and I've been, the 2 you hit on, which is critical, is childcare and transportation. Yeah. I've been part of, in my time here, multiple conversations about how, as a community, can we address that. We do have some transportation, okay, and the college is one of the stops along that, and we have not solved the childcare situation, although the Y does an amazing job, but they have limited space and limited staff and so forth. But the other piece, which to attract individuals, and you didn't ask that, is workforce housing. Workforce housing. So I think we would attract more individuals to this area with workforce housing, and that has been there hasn't been a year or 6 months that I haven't been in a meeting that talks about workforce housing, and I think that there are great models that have already started to happen with the apartments in Lowmore, by the Y. Yeah. And I think that there are certainly some landlords who are now starting to open up their properties to workforce housing, and but that's been really the conversation. So you're right. The childcare still needs assistance. The transportation is there, needs certainly more, but then the workforce housing is the third piece.
It sounds like a great episode we need to put together.
Yeah.
Looking forward, where do you see Mountain Gateway in the next 5 years?
Sure. Well, if we use this year as an indication, This fall, we had a 13% increase in enrollment, and this spring, we're at 17%. So I would love to say we're going to repeat that for the next 5 years, but we want to be able to continue to offer the needs of the community. Okay, we are inviting employers to the campus, to various summits and everything, and we're asking what their needs are. One of the issues, because we're in a smaller area, is we can't meet all of the needs for one employer if there's only 2 employees that need a particular program.
Right.
But this is where can we work with the JRTC and a boys' home or something. One example, and I'll just give it to you quickly, is a number of years ago when Schaefer Rolls moved into the area, now American Rolls, my former VP of Workforce and I, we went to New Hampshire, visited the site, learned about what their training needs would be, and they needed machining. We were able to get equipment from the state. We worked with JRTC, where they have a machining lab there. They and then COVID hit, so this was right before COVID. We were and they were hiring 35 people, which was a lot for our community. We were able to deliver that program to them to meet their immediate workforce needs. And then once we get past COVID, JRTC started, I believe, a year ago running that for high school students, and we have access to that lab at night. So we're running, we are running. We're running those programs at night for adults. Okay. So I can see in the future more partnerships like that.
Right.
I can also see us changing programs. Programs are not meant to last 100 years either. So I'm not saying that we have any indication we're going to eliminate any program at this point, but there's also a capacity level. Right. So if I add 3 more healthcare programs because we might need healthcare programs, can we balance that at the college? The good thing in many ways is we don't have a lot of space on the main campus either. So the example with JRTC and the machining lab, we couldn't create a machining lab even if we wanted to. We just didn't have the space.
Yeah.
We are going to be launching in the next 6 to 12 months a heavy equipment operator program. Okay. We were able to acquire dollars for that to get heavy equipment level 1, and we will also be running a diesel mechanic. Don't ask me too much about diesel mechanic, but a diesel mechanic program, probably at that beginning, level 1 or level 2, and we have curriculum and we are trying to get instructors to be able to sort of build this out, and then we will start advertising. So those are more of the immediate programs, so I'm very optimistic in the growth. And any college goes through ups and downs with enrollment. We had a post-COVID enrollment incredible increase, but then 3 years after that we were down. Yeah. Now we're back up significantly, and we've basically caught up to almost what we've lost over the last couple of years. So my hope is as we add new programs, we're going to be able to get more of an interest to go back to your point of able-bodied workers who may want to be able to get a new skill. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming in and talking to us, and we've covered a lot of ground. A lot of different. I mean, think about just the range of course material that you taught, from healthcare to commercial truck driving to technology. I mean, it's pretty fascinating, and really focus on supporting our local economy and putting people into jobs.
Yeah, and as people like Ken and the Economic Development Corporation,
Yeah.
they start and working with the Roanoke Regional Partnership, which I serve on their board. As the potential of new employers come in, their skill level is going to be slightly different. So we're ready to be at that table, and really, if we have to either customize, that's another piece, is we can customize the training, so it's not just an off-the-shelf program. Because we teach 20 modules in a particular course, your company may only need 15 of them. That's what we will deliver to you.
I'll give you the last word. What's the message to the members of our community that either are thinking about going back to school, going to school, changing careers?
So a couple of things that, and part of this 8-week thing is, number one, we have multiple start dates now, okay? So if you think about starting now, we actually have a start date in March. Okay. We also will have a start date in May. And then we will have one in August, and one in October, and one in January. So, we have multiple start dates. If it's short term like CDL, that's a rolling. So we start. So don't think about that I have to wait till May to come in.
Right.
Okay. You're not committing anything. You're come and find out what we have.
It's not like traditional, I got to start in this fall and then I got to take spring.
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct. I think the other thing is, I think some people who know about the college but don't know about the college, I think might be surprised at the number and the vast amount of programs that we do offer,
right,
and options that we do offer, as well as the financial assistance that may be there based on somebody's income and so forth. So education does not have to be expensive. And starting at a community college, if you always wanted to get a bachelor's degree, we can be a great start.
Sure.
One of those other priorities that we have in that Rural Pathways grant is to convert a lot more of our dual enrollment students who have a bag of credits and they earn a certificate, get them to a degree before they even leave, or they may have to come to us for a semester because we know of the financial savings. So being able to do that. So, don't think about the traditional start. Come and learn about the programs. I think our campus is one of the nicest campuses in the entire Virginia Community College system. It's a good place to be, and I think we got great staff, great customer service, and people who can help you get from point A to point B and even beyond.
Well, Dr. Rainone, thanks for spending the afternoon with us, and I know you're a busy man, so your time is appreciated. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.